Dr. Cheryl, is it time for us to get a divorce? There is probably no other question in a couple's life that is as meaningful, as heartbreaking, and as anxiety provoking as that question. Now, all of you who haven't quite reached the peak of trying to figure out whether to stay in your relationship or not, good for you, but tell the truth. Sometimes in the quiet of your own mind, you still think, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Or I love them, but I'm not in love with them. I'm really miserable. Or I'm just going to stay for the kids. Wherever you are in your relationship journey, whether you're fairly early days, whether you've been together a long time and you're okay, whether you're in crisis or more, let's look at the most common reasons couples get divorced. Because in this brand new series of Video Love Bites, you're going to hear about what I'm calling Marriage 911. What's your emergency? And I'm going to tackle 6 really difficult issues, give you some ideas, and inspire some hope, because marriage, relationship, however you love, is a hard gig. And we need some inspiration sometimes, and to know that there are tools and strategies that can get you from where you are to where you need to be. Okay, let's talk about divorce. What a painful topic. Now, the statistics on divorce that we read in the newspapers or magazines, they're drawn from certain studies and they're a reasonable approximation. The fact is we don't really know an accurate divorce statistic, but roughly 30 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce. And of course, if you're common law married, will also, of course, include your breakup, whether or not it was on the book somewhere. If you're in a committed relationship where you're choosing lifetime love and you end up breaking up, I'm calling that a divorce. LGBTQ, whoever you are, however you love someone, you wanted to go the distance, it fell apart. Here are the 3 most common causes. The first is, I know, don't cringe, it's the C word, communication. Communication breakdowns. And this can take many ugly and less ugly forms. It can be as simple and ubiquitously tricky as we don't talk about the important things. We kind of skate along. We're conflict avoidant. We don't really have those tough conversations. We're good. We don't want to argue. It, of course, can go into verbal abuse, nastiness, controlling behavior, and more. You'll hear a bit more about that in one of the upcoming videos. And it's also not necessarily that obvious that maybe you're not sharing your hopes and dreams with your partner. Do you feel alone? Do you feel lonely in your relationship? Do you feel like your partner doesn't really know who you are these days? These are really common pain points, really common problems that can lead to relationship or marriage 911. So communication, that whole ball of wax, you'll hear more about that in these videos as well. The second main thing, and this one may surprise you because it doesn't sound like it would ruin a relationship, but complacency, no romance, not having fun, being roommates instead of lovers, focusing on the kids and work, losing each other along the way. One of the most common explanations for why people divorce is that they simply grew apart. Ouch. So how are you doing working on your romance, what I call thrill? How are you doing working on making sure your sweetheart feels elevated every day? What does that mean, Dr. Cheryl? Do you let them know you appreciate them in specific ways? Not just thanks for dinner, which is great, by the way, well done, but thanks for dinner. You know, I so appreciate that you take care of me in that way when I'm working hard. Right now, I'm in the middle of a lot of wonderful, exciting work, including doing all this filming for you. And my sweetheart is providing beautiful, yummy meals for me so I can show up, have a break, eat with him, enjoy, and then get back to create all this beautiful content for you and more. So we've got communication, being roommates, not lovers, losing the loving feeling, losing the thrill, not making your relationship a priority, not making love intentional. What do I mean by that? Well, that's everything I do and teach. And stay tuned, because in a moment you'll hear about some ways to work with me for free in the coming month or so. That's going to be really exciting. But I know you want to hear the third cause or reason given or couples issue that leads to breaking up or divorce, and that's problems in the bedroom. Now, I'm not overemphasizing how important sex is, am I? Am I? No, I'm emphasizing how important sex is. Whether you make love once a day, once a month, or even once a year, whether you don't make love at all, whether you're in the 32 to 40% of long-term couples based on some studies who aren't making love at all, sensuality and sexuality is a really beautiful, powerful, important part of who we are as a couple. And so many couples in long-term love, 30% of you watching or more, aren't making love at all. Is it easy to move from being non-sexual to sexual again? No, it's quite a difficult transition. But one of the things I do is help couples make that transition. So to summarize, divorce, the statistics I started to say are around 30 to 50% of first-term marriages or first-term commitments end in divorce or breakup. And the statistics for second relationships, second marriages or long-term commitments are actually more dire. Higher than 50% of second marriages fail. Why is that? Because we aren't addressing the three root problems around communication, what I call intimacy, around romance versus roommates, which I call thrill, and around sensuality and sexuality. So that's everything I do. If you've been following me for a while, you know that's my model of the three keys to passion. The three areas every couple needs to work on in order to bring back the love that may have died. I don't think it's dead. I think it's slumbering. It might even be in a coma. And with gentle guidance and firm hands and you taking your relationship as a priority, you can change this. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of couples who've worked with me in the Become Passion program. That's my 12-week program. I'm kicking it off in about 6 weeks. And before then, I'm going to be offering you some really great opportunities to work with me for free. In a few weeks, I'm going to be offering a free workshop on Zoom where you can join with your sweetheart and work on these three things, rate yourself in these three areas. You do not want to miss that. The doors are not open for it yet, but join our VIP list. There's a link below. And on that list, you'll get into the pool of people we'll make sure know first when I open the doors to the free teachings coming all this month for the next 4 to 5 weeks. And of course, when I do open the doors to the Become Passion program, we'll be kicking off this year at the beginning of May. So make sure you do that. So divorce happens a lot. It is preventable. Howard and Karen took my program about 6 months ago, and Howard abruptly told his wife of 32 years, from her point of view, completely out of the blue, I want a divorce. She says she spent 3 days sobbing, and then she went to him. He moved downstairs. She was upstairs in their family home, and she went downstairs and said, I don't want to give you a divorce. We deserve more than this. Give us 6 months. And to his credit, because he was completely sure he wanted a divorce, he said, okay, I'm moving out. We'll stay in contact and we'll see what happens. Then they saw a video very much like this one that brought them to some of this free content and to the free classes I'll be offering. And they chose to join my 12-week journey. They are doing unbelievably well now. What they learned, one of his big issues was around sexuality and them not making love in their later years. What he learned was he was not communicating with his wife at all about what was going on for him inside. They say that as chemists, they were lifelong chemists in their careers. They were great communicators at work, but not at home. And they had to learn to communicate first. Then they had to work on date nights. Then they had to work on sensuality. Here's a beautiful story to finish our time together today. Recently, they posted in our community board for the couples I work with, his wife Karen posted, I just have to brag on my man a minute. He managed to pull off a surprise birthday dinner last night for 10 of our friends, 6 of whom had to come from far away and get flights. I didn't have a clue. He made the dinner. He made, I think, beef short ribs or something and lobster mashed potatoes and some sort of amazing drinks. And he showed a slideshow with 500 pictures of the two of them over the years. This is absolutely true. You can read it in their testimonials if you want. They say it on video. But that is the kind of transformation that's possible. And I share that story for you very deliberately. Whether or not choosing to join my program in a month or so is right for you, no problem. But I want you to take from this video hope. Hope. If your marriage is pretty good, okay, fine, take hope here. Divorce isn't your issue, thank goodness, but wouldn't you like to reignite and re-enhance what you already have and make love more fun, more joyful, more connected, and yeah, more sexy? I'm Dr. Cheryl Fraser. Many of you know, but I'm an author, a speaker. I've taught for Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, and more. And I created the Become Passion program, and I have a podcast, and I am here to help you renovate your love life one breath at a time. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more great Marriage 911 videos coming your way.